Yeah,
So
he
I
doesn't.
have to
He doesn't
behave
pay
myself.
respects to anyone. He does not
No.
type F in the chat when his opponent loses and GG's.
That's what I
man.
meant. Yeah, but this guy turning it up with a 12 pull and top left. This is Team GP's Rex.
Team Gank Protoss.
Yes.
Down here in the bottom right-hand side, the Protoss powerhouse, master of the cheese, the eliminator of Jaedong, king of the cannons. It is House. Gas first, so doing a greedy opening. And he's going to skip the scout pretty much entirely against the 12 pool. Now, this is not one of the maps where people 12 pool that much. It is somewhat common, but the real map is Beckett and Jagannatha. So he says, let's open the series greedy. We'll get away with it. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. And Rex is like, 12 pool, buddy. Let's go. This is going to be very, very good for him. This is so good for him, man.
That's it. It's so fun having these player cams as well for the main event. Every time we see Haas, I think more anime stuff arrives into his room. This season, it's looking more weeby than ever.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, Haas is your ultimate weeb, proud, loud, and likes to, show it off. And he's actually dodging the middle, so the probe is going to not see the Zerglings come.
It's so
going to see, like, Zergling 9 and 10 as these guys arrive, and he's just going to depower that pylon. There's no Zealot building, so this is perfectly done. Rex is about to get either a free win, or Haas is going to show us the best probe micro of all time, and somehow not just straight up die here.
Well, sometimes StarCraft be like that. And the probes come down for a reaction. Yeah,
he doesn't finish the pylon. He could have finished the pylon. Oh, that's a mistake from Rex. That's a big mistake. He could have taken the pylon out. I gotta say, I think he could get more here. He's still good for him, but I think it could be a killing blow.
I'm with you there. Depowering the gateway would have been lights out, literally, there for Haas, but now he's got a wall off. The Lings obviously can do some damage here. They can threaten that gateway at the north side. Not a lot of hit points on it. It's very fresh.
It'll still go down. He's supply block, so Haas is like not mining much at all, and he's got... So the gateway buys him time, but for what? To return these minerals that naturally starts at a depth. He's got to cancel that. He does it the last second, but his pylon is still so weak. No matter what, this is a good opening for Rex. It's really finding the mark. I do think he could have got even more from it, but Haas, legendary at surviving dire situations.
And he is surviving. I mean, it's incredible to me that the pylon did not go down. It's incredible to me that Haas is still alive and has taken negligible damage. I mean, the amount of mining that was denied there and the supply block was quite brutal. So he did, Rex did direct and indirect damage. I guess the question now is it enough?
Going for a third hatch and a gas in the follow-up is Rex, but not rushing too crazily, I guess, to link speed, so that's all right. Going to try and being greedy in the follow-up. I think it's the strongest tool Zerg has after a 12 pull. Oh, he's looking for the ambush. See it if he catches this Adept Shade. Haas. Oh, can he get one? Oh my gosh, Zerglings work. Okay, they get at least one. Adept.
This one should... Actually, no, she gets fully surrounded. Oh, Haas.
You could see it on his face. He was not happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. You have the ability to save that Adept there. The other one was done, but but she could have survived. So unfortunate there for Haas. And as it stands back at home, he's still just left with a single Zealot, just like the beginning of the game.
Yeah. The Zergling's working on both of those gateways. Nothing even building right now. He doesn't even have enough gas. He starts +1. Oh, Haas is such a psycho. He's waiting for Warp Gate to finish. He's like, just wait for Warp Gate.
I'll be right. Yeah.
Okay, the Stalker does come down. All right. Oh, good patience. I didn't realize there was that Stalker up in the main, so well done. He's going to go for his +1 style. So I believe he'll be going charge with this. We'll have to wait and see. Often what he does with his early Forge 2-base style is he will take a third base while doing these little push-outs. Often with like sentries, zealots, stalkers, just small unit sets of units. And he'll try and get a third up, and then he just makes it really hard for the Zerg to judge how greedy they can be. And at some point, he'll commit all out to a big assault, and it'll be really hard for them to hang on.
Well, he's dropping the Invisible Man clubhouse here, the Dark Shrine going down. Adept's finally getting across the map and finding those drones. Only getting 2 so far, so not worth it for Haas just yet. The Lings are going to get him down. That's actually a pretty decent hold there for Rex. His drone count, not looking great, but... He's got that lair on the way at least, and is canceling the spores that he did not need in the end. But may want them in a minute or so.
Rex is playing exceptionally safe right now. He's playing the anti-Haas style. Doesn't really have the worker advantage the way you might often want it, but honestly, against Haas, just having more Roaches and Ravagers is often just as good. Gonna try and take down that Stalker, but that's very dangerous. Zealots do come back. He sees the Zealots, so he knows it's a charged style.
Yeah.
That, of course, will prompt him to build more and more Roaches. Now, the problem with these Roach low economy styles is you've got to make sure you're not surprised. You've got to be in the right position at the right time, because Zealots are much faster than Roaches, pre-Roach speed especially, and they do a lot of damage, whereas Roaches don't do that much damage, so the Zealots can just run past and kill your workers very quickly, and they can kind of wear you down that way. So we'll see exactly how he handles things, and it looks like he's got a minivan on the bottom left of the map, just an Overlord drop ready. So he's going to try and put Zerglings in the main as DTs work their way across here for Haas.
It looks like the Ling drops are going to happen. So the DTs are seeing the Roaches move through the middle of the map, but they don't want to kill the Roaches. They want to kill drones. So they're going across the map here. No Spore. Ooh, I mean, Rex obviously with a lair, but no Overseers at home, no detection. And the DTs are split up and already hacking and slashing at the economy.
And Rex was trying to do his own Roach Ravager assault here, but these DTs are now going to come in and do very well. They're going to start to work on all three mineral lines. Oh, this is a disaster for Rex. The problem is he didn't even have a big economy to begin with. He was trying to play so safe by making mass units, but he forgot one of the most important safety tools against Haas. He has been using DTs so much in every matchup recently. He's always throwing out these surprise DT timings, and he even hides a DT in the main. Rex still hasn't found it just yet. That might come in and get even more damage.
Rex has got his Ling drop in the main base of Haas finally. He was with a slow Overlord.
He missed the DT. Goes back in. Yeah, he went up there with his army, but the Overseer is slower than the army, so he thought he checked everywhere, but the Overseer didn't actually see. So another 3 workers go down. The Zerglings still haven't gone in. Rex is not even got a proper drone rebuild because he's got so little income during this period. I think he's just going to go all in with Ravager Ling. He could still kill Haas. He's got a big Zerg army with Roach speed. But those Zerglings are nearly useless against Zealot Archon.
And Immortals as well for those Roaches. Like, the army of Haas is quite powerful, and he's nearly got +2 attack as that 3rd Archon morphs in. The drop in the main, I think Rex has forgotten about it. It's just chilling. There we go.
He selects it now. He's going to send that one in. Be better if it paired up with something else. Haas is actually going to attack into him right now, even though Rex has really made a giant Roach Ravager army. So I really think Haas has to back on off. But, great Zealot block warp-ins there. What is Zealot Archon? He's got a few units inside the Warp Prism as well. He's going to try and drop Archons on top of these Roaches to get maximum splash damage. He's trying to pick up those Zealots to keep them alive. Nice micro from Haas. Even more Zealots coming in. That is not enough Roach Ravager. Zerglings do come in from behind. Ooh. They will start to take out the Immortal. Hot pickups doing well from Haas. This fight is neck and neck, but those Archons are still very healthy. Is there enough Roaches? If he can get one more Zealot warp in, I think Haas is fine. The problem is he can't really stop to warp in right now because there's Ravagers and a Queen ready to pile it down.
Looks like Rex is going to hold on by the skin of his teeth, and Haas saving an Archon, saving an Immortal, some of the more expensive units, does get deflected. But look at the economies, Pig. Oh, it's gross. Does not look good at all for the Zerg.
Yeah, after such a good start, I really thought this would be great for Rex, but just not quite able to capitalize on it. Roach Ravager coming on in here. Oh, the Zealot Immortal Archon is just such a good army. This is only a mid-sized pack of Roaches. It's not that many. And Haas here, up a massive amount of workers. He's got +2 attack as well. Oh, talk about value.
Yeah, absolutely. Just chasing Rex all the way back home, and there's that big Zealot warp in. Again, +2 attack here for Haas. So he's hitting very hard with these charge lots and the Archons and the Immortals doing even more bonus damage to those Roaches. Oh man, a second Immortal shows up. That's it. Rex just doesn't have the power to hold here. Not for a 3rd time in a row, and Haas takes the victory in the end.
GG. Haas looking great. Oh, dude, he's a wizard. In this region, there's just such a barrier, you know, that is Haas between these other players and victories so often. And it's unscouted 12 pool, just completely unscouted until it arrives at the base. I was like, there's no way you can win that game as Haas. But Haas, he digs deep, he pulls almost every single probe, and he just very calmly responds, deals with it, scares Rex out of the base, and wow, what a hold.
Indeed. And this was a really missed opportunity there for Rex to get that pile at the start. Really, it looked like he made the snap decision to try and get probe kills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he was worried about getting surrounded, right? He was like, oh, maybe you'll surround them all, and then it's kind of not worth it if you lose every Zerglings. But I don't know if that's realistic, right? It's like pretty hard to surround like 8 Zerglings, right? Like, I don't know. I understand where the fear comes from, because if you depower it, but then all your Zerglings are dead, it's like, well, who cares about the Protoss gate being depowered, right? So I guess that was his fear.
I guess so. Kind of hard to tell. I mean, if Rex wins the series, would love to ask him. But in the end, we do have Hask in the victory there. Just making a bunch of the correct decisions to get him into a place where he was ahead. He did insane drone damage with the DTs. You know, that definitely was a lot more than I expected, and Rex didn't even expect the DTs at all. He was not prepared for them at all. Yeah. And from that point, it really felt like he didn't get his footing again in that game after the DTs hacked through his drones. He was all in at that point, let's be honest. Like, he kind of needed to hit back really hard, maybe kill the third Nexus to turn it into a game. Didn't happen at all. Like, he actually did very little econ damage in that game to Haas after the beginning.
Yeah, really just classic Haas play with that Forge style. It's always this thing where he hangs out on 2 base longer than normal. People get afraid because it's Haas, and they way overbuild army, and then he still finds damage, even though they overbuild army. In this case, it was the DTs, and he's probing, and he's got +2, and they have no upgrades, not even an Evo Chamber starter. The number of times I think he's behind, he should be behind off that build, and then he's got +2, they have nothing. He's somehow got more workers than them off this like 3rd base that he wasn't even probing initially, and I'm like, oh, he consistently finds his way here. And I really do think it is Haas playing against his image of being this cheesy Russian guy. And they don't know about that Forge up in the main. That's just the whole time adding upgrades, giving him more value. Awesome play from Haas.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a short break. And when we return, more Haas and more Rex. We'll see you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. You're watching Taiwan and the Hong Kong bracket here with Maynard and Pig. It's all Taiwan here in this match with Haas going up against Rex. Haas currently with a 1-0 lead in the series. Rex showing some moments of goodness there in that game, but Haas tightened himself up like a snare drum, and he had no leaks in that ship and managed to look real solid from the early game onwards after that awkward start.
Indeed. Who needs to scout anyway? I mean, if that's the worst that can happen, why would you ever scout as Protoss first egg? I mean, this is such a confidence booster for Haas. I think he's going to feel so relaxed, like he can just flow, do his thing going into the next game. Whereas for Rex, it's like, oh, geez, DTs, really? From there? It's just one of those little things he was not prepared for, wasn't looking for it. And it came at an odd moment in the game. So unfortunate turn of events there for Rex, but it is what it is. And he's playing against one of the guys who's been relatively dominant in the region for the last 10 years of StarCraft 2. Up here in the top right-hand side, representing Team GP. He's going to have to dig deep to win this one. It's Rex.
And in the bottom left, no team, but he's looking good. This is Haas. He's team girl eating rice.
Yep. I cast a lot of Haas games, so I actually get to see the, the funny, interesting pictures next to his neck side, depending on what server we're on all the time. And
the EPTs.
Interesting to see. Yep. Yep. He's had this one for a while, and definitely a good rice eating technique there. And
I think it's rice.
Yeah, probably. Hard to say in that quality, that size image, but it is going to be 2,000 atmospheres. So
18 whole pixels in that picture. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? It could be a piece of some kind of white meat. It could be like a fish or something. I don't know.
It's true.
Now I'm doubting myself. Now I don't know who I am anymore. What year is it, Pig? Who's president?
Someone called Detective Poop Feast. We need a real detective. On
we need a deep dive. Yeah, we need that like 2,000 word essay Reddit post to break down this mystery for us. Ah, that is an early third right there for Rex. 145.
Yeah, that's a very quick third. Hatchery, of course, won't be building an Overlord anytime soon. As going to be just droning on up and trying to get all that money out. Haas, once again, scouts very late in this game. Just arriving once again about the time a 12 pool could be hitting him. I mean, this is so demoralizing. For me, if I was in this game, I'd be like, seriously, like if I can't punish him for not scouting this early, like I'd just be at a loss. I'd be like, oh, he just gets away with it now.
Forge in the main for Haas.
This is his favorite style lately. He's killed a lot of people with it. So the trick is to basically have good scouting, but to not overreact. It's basically he's going to force you to react to more movement and little pokes from him than most Protoss players do, and you actually need to still find a way to get ahead in drones. The worst thing you can do against this style is play overly safe, like Rex did in that last game, by like, I'll just stop at 44 drones and make a ton of Roach Ravager. Even though he was ahead off the start, obviously the DTs put him behind, but the problem is that he probes up that third really quickly when he chooses to. And he definitely is capable of a lot of different styles. And sometimes he does this more sentry focus. I think this will be more of that Zealot Archon like that last game. He really does use that style exceptionally well.
And Rex, no doubt, has hit this more than once. But she mentioned usually it's the Zealot with the Archon, and the Archons seem to be from the Dark Shrine. So Rex hopefully dotting his I's and lowercase j's and crossing his T's in this game. He is being very active on the map with these lings, which I'm loving to see.
That Overlord just getting a good vision over those gases on the natural, checking that nothing is going on there that could be freaking him out. And that Roach Warren up in the main base is about halfway done. It's definitely so far looking good for Rex, but he's building a lot of Zerglings. And the only worry I have is, yeah, don't build too many Lings against a man who's going to make 1,000 charge lots. Because in general, Lings are so good against Protoss, but not this style. Against this style, you want Roaches and drones. And then more Roaches and then more drones. Because Zealots and Archons, they're just going to destroy Zerglings. Your Zerglings just don't help in a fight.
And Rex is just seeing the Forge chrono boosted with the Twilight Council here. And you got to know that this is, you know, either a lot of Adepts or charge lots. And either way, having a lot of Lings feels very uncomfortable. He is going to come in onto that third base. This does look like it could potentially be a cancel, but a couple more Zealots coming in for the natural. Oh, man, Rex thinks that he can take the fight here against 5 Zealots. It's going to be close. More Lings coming in. Okay, he is going to overwhelm here in the end.
Got to finish them. Yeah. As long as you finish them off with overwhelming numbers, Lings are very high damage units. So that actually works out quite okay for Rex for now. And he's droning behind it. So you know what? I doubted it. He finds the right moment to trade with him. Drones behind, adds +1. This is excellent play from Rex. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, found the damage there in the end. The Invisible Man Clubhouse once again in the natural. The Dark Shrine halfway done here for Haas. Rex feels like he's a little bit more in control this game so far. The Lings did a good start there. He's also got the lair done, so he has the ability to get mobile detection out. Hasn't started an Overseer or Spores just yet. He is making Roaches, which is part of the equation, but he will need detection soon.
Oh, it'd really suck to take damage from that 2 games in a row, wouldn't it? And the Overseer is there coming in. These Zealots, of course, a bit of a distracting force. Just a bit of an annoyance. +1 armor going down behind the +1 attack. 10 more drones. I said you got to be nice and find a chance to get greedy and be confident against this. Rex is doing that. He's doing it splendidly. And now is the point where I go, cool, now build a ton of Roaches and Overlords and nothing else and survive. Because it's still a scary moment in the game. And I'm like, okay, you still got to respect him. He doesn't have that detection at home right now. DTs are going to warp in any moment on that Prism and they're going to go into that main and natural. Oh, this is still a scary moment for Rex. I think he's played this game splendidly so far. I still believe in that Zerg revenge story here, Maynard. I think the Protoss have been bullying them for too long, and nothing is sweeter than when the bullied strikes back and fights the bully.
This is unfortunately one of those games, though, where the DTs are going to be in the drone line, and then Rex will get detention.
Oh, he does have one Overseer with his army. There we go. It's with his army. If he runs his drones, runs the drones from the main as well. They're in the main as well, I think. Oh, he's going to lose some workers, but... Oh, actually, I think he got deflected from the main base. Okay.
Not too bad. I mean, 8 drones going down stings, but keep in mind that Rex has been droning quite heavily here. So that's actually manageable damage at the moment. He just needs to be able to handle the wave of charge lots, obviously.
I mean, Haas is on 55 probes. He's all in on Zealots. So you've just got to keep making Roaches. 70 drones is way too many right now. He's making Banelings, which is awesome. Overlords, Roaches, Ravagers, Banelings. As long as he makes those, he's good. The scary thing is that Prism that's going to hit the main base. That is the one thing where if he's got to have enough units. You cannot be too afraid of the other side. He's got, what, 5 Roaches, 2 Queens? If Haas gets a full warp on in the main, he overwhelms that.
He certainly does. Queens already getting some paint off of that Prism.
Yeah, those Queens, if they focus the Prism, I think he's okay in the main. Oh, at the front, the Banelings shutting down this wave. I'm telling you, man, Revenge of the Zergs, but the Zealot warp into the main. It's exactly what I was worried about here for Rex. He's starting to get overwhelmed there. He needs more Roaches. I honestly think just pure Roach is the easiest way to do this. Baneling's very good against the Zealots in a frontal fight, but when he attacks on 2 sides, it's not very good. He's got to send more units into the main. He's pulling back to deal with the Immortals, but that means the Zealots are going to get out of control. Rex here mishandling this a little bit.
Oh, well, the Prism does go down, and that's something, but these Zealots are in huge numbers. Good bottleneck, though, on the natural ramp. Well done there from Rex. Yeah, he's actually evacuated the main base for the most part, given time for his Roaches to settle the third base battle, and then come over the main. But Haas arrives again with the Immortals. Another Prism. Oh, the Prism just escaped fiery death.
Zealots absolutely smash up against Roaches when they're unmicroed. It's this weird thing when you're in a choke, you're stutter stepping, you had Banelings. Zealots are terrible. But when you're fighting in 2 or 3 places, you can't do all that fancy micro, can you? And you have one Zealot fighting one Roach. That Roach gets destroyed, especially 1-1 upgrades here for Haas. But +2 will kick in for Rex soon. Now, Rex is a little down on economy and says, that's fine. I'm just going to go kill you now. I think I've got the numbers. But remember, batteries are strong. Cannons are strong. Immortals and Zealots are quite strong as well. But the numbers are definitely there for Rex.
Zealots coming in from the backside. Haas has actually got a little bit of a flank coming up here. Those Ravagers quite soft at the backside. And the Zealots are hacking, slashing with their 1-1 upgrades. A lot of the Ravagers did get cut into, and the army supply gap closes. Haas deflects Rex's counterattack.
I mean, Haas is still on a really low tier army. I almost feel like every time Rex counterattacks, It's always dangerous. He's so good at defending. That Zealot flank was just spectacular. Against this sort of army, you really need to kite it down. You can never stand your ground and fight with the Roaches, or the Zealot Immortal is just, it counters your army. Uh-oh. Oh, Biles canceling it. The Immortals are now in trouble. Okay, maybe if Rex can get rid of the Immortals, or at least 2 of these, it'll be big. A 5th Immortal rallies in during the fight. One's fallen, a second one has fallen, but the Prism is still alive. Can he get another Immortal kill? It looks like he can.
Oh, the Queen got picked off.
Oh, the Bile!
Oh, the Bile connects with the Prism. A bunch of charge loss did get warped in, but Haas doesn't want to commit without that Prism, which did end up going down in the end. I cannot believe that Prism was on 1 hit point. A sharp sneeze on anyone inside that Warp Prism, and it would have fallen apart with how damaged it was. And the Queen just needed to pick it off, but Haas like target fired that thing down with the Immortals. I mean, this has been an action-packed CVP so far. CVP has a reputation for some time being a little slow and a little tedious, but this is not that. This is all action.
Yeah, this is all fighty fight, McFight fight. +2 and Blink are now coming in for Haas. He's going to swap into that later game army a little bit. Rex locked down on 56 workers. I still think because the army isn't that high tier for Haas, you can get back in this. Potentially, but he's going to need to drone at some point, and that's what he's struggling to find the room to do. This is very difficult.
Big charge lot swarm there at the 3rd base. Disengages, though, as the Roaches and Ravagers come up. Haas pulling back with the Immortals. Prism support a little ways back here for Haas at the moment. The Zealot count, though, still quite powerful. Rex got +2 on those Roaches and Ravagers, so he's hitting really hard. And those Zealots are evaporating. Gets an Immortal here as well.
Oh, yeah, I like the zoning Biles as well. Separating the Zealots from the Immortals is always the trick there. Because if you put the Biles in between them, the Immortals have to dodge back, and then you fight the Zealots on their own. And look at that, another Immortal falls. Rex taking some good fights. I don't think he can finish him on the other side of the map, though. The static D plus Immortals plus Micro is too strong. I'd like to see Rex drone up and drop a 4th base here and play the next stage, because Haas does not have a continued plan for the late game. He never does in this matchup. He always plays mid-game centric. So I really feel like if Rex attacks into a defensive position, it's going to be just too hard to break. Not unless he has a big clump of Banelings. Look at that, another Zealot flank.
Oh, man. History's repeating itself here as the Zealots come in for a bit of a flank. Rex does respond quite quick, though, and denies the flank from Haas as he positions his army further back, creating a little bit of a choke point here in the middle of the map. So it doesn't go as badly for Rex as the last attack, but I'm with you. Like, Rex has not made any drones for a long time. He's just been making Roaches and Lings. You're talking about how mid-game centric Haas is. I mean, are we ever going to see a hype from Rex? He is so mid-game focused at the moment as well.
Yeah, well, he's so... the thing is, he's afraid of dying, but then he feels he needs to go attack against a different Protoss player. Yes, against Haas, maybe you can actually prolong here. But the problem is he's got to choose that before. He can't be going across the map, throwing his army at him, getting it surrounded by these Zealots, and then doing it, you know. It's just not quite enough units, not quite enough economy for Rex. So Rex still has a scary army. He could easily deflect an attack right now. 2 minutes from now, though, when +3 kicks in, when the Immortal count grows, when there's more Blink Stalkers, I'm not so sure about that at all. You know, Rex is just stuck in unit mode. +2, melee, Bane speed. He's trying to make a supermax Zerg army and beat Haas that way, but look at the way Haas is just expanding along the edge of the map. He's got Zealots ready to backstab. He's got a giant army building up. His Stalker count grows, and the thing is, you can make as much Ravager Bane as you want. If the Protoss has a max of Blink Stalkers with +3, Baneling Roach Ravager just doesn't really beat that. It's just not going to do the trick. Zerglings are good versus that, but they're not good versus the Zealots, so you find yourself in a weird position where, yeah, you can technically beat it with enough Banelings, but then they're going to remax, and you've spent 5 times the resources to kill their army. Banelings are supply efficient, they are not cost efficient.
And the Banelings are rolling into what appears to be a lot of Stalkers here, which also blink back, and Banelings already trade badly against Stalkers, even if they do stand and fight. Haas's army is looking very powerful here. Eats a Bile on the front line, loses Stalker, but still a lot more where that came from. He's got Blink, he's got +2, and he is knocking on that front door of the 4th base of Rex. Oh man, Rex on Roach Ravager Ling Bane for a little bit too long here. I just don't think he's got the units for it.
And this is Haas. Look at those upgrades. 2-1, soon to be +3, but he doesn't even need to wait for it. The Blink Stalkers, the Immortals, are going to crack on forward and push through Rex's 4th base. That earlier Zealot attack, I thought Rex was so well set up for it, but the Prism in the main, getting that warp in, despite 4 Queens and 5 Roaches waiting for it, that was a Haas Prism, and this is a Haas attack, decisive with the lead, always grabbing victory when it presents itself. He is so good at finding the Zerg's weak spot, and Haas here just bullying his way through into the natural. Rex does not have the numbers to hang on.
Yeah. A Haas Prism, a Haas attack, and it looks to be a Haas series as he is on the precipice of the 2-0 victory here. There it is, GG. And Haas, he's really happy with that one. He's like, damn, I thought I was dead. He seems so relieved. Well played, Haas. All right, our first player in the top 4. Not a huge surprise there.
Not a huge surprise, but definitely I think he's always getting pushed more and more each season by these guys. And he survived a 12 pool that he didn't see coming. He there in that game was looking to be in a hard spot. Those Zealots all got surrounded by the Zerglings. Rex was way ahead on the workers. Gets in with the DT. Doesn't do that much with it. About 8 workers. You know, it was not looking good, but dude, his prisms, they never get sniped when they go in for that double prong maneuver. He's so good at it. And I just love watching a Haas game. He makes PvZ look not like what PvZ normally looks like.
Which is great. You know, I find like as much as I like PvZ, you know, you list out every other esport there. I think StarCraft 2 is the greatest esport of all time. And while I think like PvZ is the weakest matchup for me as a viewer,
yep.
Just because it just doesn't seem to be as exciting as your TVZs, and even the mirror matchups are really exciting sometimes as well. PvZ sometimes can be a little bit slow, but I always know when I sit down to put the headset on and cast Taiwan Hong Kong bracket that it is going to be spicy, and this series was just action all the time. Started off with the 12 pull in game 1, as you mentioned, and this game, it felt like both players were all in for about 12 minutes, and some big moments happening for both sides. You know, Rex really had the upper hand here and there. Questionable decisions on both sides, some big commitments and some overextensions, culminating in this big attack from Haas in the end, where he just had the more powerful tools.
It's just occurred to me, Maynard. I think Haas is on a mission to teach Zerg players how to play Zerg. Like, he's always the one surrounding them with Zealot flanks. He's always the one who's, like, doing these little fun harassment maneuvers, like Ling Run By type style. The